rearview mirror looking forward in the long, long picture. The rearview mirror, the closest vision that I have, is the future Tyson's Corner, which is on my webpage. But in preparing the future of Tyson's Corner, I had an advisory group that would look at each step I took on the way, my team took, and offer me counsel or questions. And one of the calls was from Mr. Najib Halabi, who at one time was the chairman of Pan Am and a very ranking official in the Airports Authority. And we've crossed paths many times. So Mr. Halaby says, "Mr. Kane, how are you coming with the study?" I said, "I think well, sir." He said, "Any big ideas?" I said, "Sir, you've known me a long time. Big ideas are the only ideas worth pursuing." "Okay, what do you got?" He said, "Well, first of all, I want to bring the metro here because there's not enough space for cars. And we're trapped by the Beltway on one side, 66 on another, the toll road on another, and all of these concrete barriers with very small canyons that you can get through. So we will never get enough cars in and out of this place to make Tyson's a functional community or place." "So what do you got in mind?" I said, "Well, let's bring the metro out here. Bring the train." He said, "Good idea. Good start. What else do you have?" I said, "Well, let me see, sir. I think it'd be a good idea to increase the number of housing units in Tyson's." "Oh, interesting you say that, because I think some of those people might enjoy living here." I said, "Sir, what do you mean by some of those people? Less than you kind of people?" He said, "Well, that's an interesting way of hearing that question. You mean the workers? If the boss didn't want to live there, why do you think the workers would?" He said, "Well, interesting, because I've been thinking about downsizing. I have a house in McLean with stables where my daughter used to keep her horse. Now that the horse is in Jordan, I don't need as much space." So, "Okay, where would you like to go when you leave here?" He said, "Well, Palo Alto." I said, "Interesting that you should bring that up. Why Palo Alto?" "Never mind, I know. I was accepted there myself." And so I know what Stanford offers Palo Alto, but there's something else that Palo Alto offers, in that when I was invited to come there to be part of a football team, they said, "Would you spend a semester at a junior college?" I think it was Menlo Junior College. I said, "Why?" They said, "Well, because your grade point average is not quite meeting our standard. So just one semester or one season in the junior college would test you to see if you're of the caliber that we want to give you a scholarship. Because if we give a football scholarship, it's forever, no matter what happens. And so let's try a season at a junior college." With that as background, I will raise the question that I offered to Mr. Halaby. I said, "Sir, what if we had a university in Tysons?" He said, "Well, then I'd stay right where I am, maintain my connectivity, and take advantage of all the contacts I have and everything that the university would offer." So as I transfer that back to where I live, Reston's a pretty interesting place. The one thing that it still lacks is a university. It is beginning to develop them with a branch of Marymount and a branch of Nova. And so I have proclaimed that it is time to begin work on the University of Reston, which should be a graduate center that would teach planning, because almost everything that can be said about good planning and bad planning is manifested somewhere in Reston. So this would be the place where you could have hands-on laboratory to talk about what's been done. Has it been done well? Could it be done better? And a little background research. Let's look backwards from we said what was going to be in the town center. Did it work that way? Is there any lessons to be learned from that? It will be a laboratory that we can work those questions forward and backwards. So if it's a graduate center, for what school? Well, Virginia Tech is already in the market, and they were out here once with Joe DiMaggio and Blue Woolridge, who operated out of the farmhouse, which is now about where the YMCA is. So we had them here once, and they are now down in Alexandria. When I brought that question up with my good friend Henry Hollander, who's on the Jan Holt's staff at Virginia Tech, he said, "Well, actually, we're running out of space, so maybe we could make a deal to come out here. Can you find me a place to rent?" I said, "I think I can. I think I would suggest you go to the top floor of the International Building. From that floor, each one of those windows, which used to be Reston Land's sales office, you can present an entire class on Reston just by looking out the window. So unfortunately, someone came along the line that was going to give them free space in Alexandria. So rather than move out here, the free space would be better. But we're going to take another step on that. There's an interest that I have in creating an entry point at what I call East Point Village, which is discussed in the Wheelie outlet, YouTube. And so I have suggested to the owner of that property, that would be a wonderful assignment for a studio such as the Virginia Tech Alexandria campus carries out, where they bring a group of students out and we would set up a program for them. What do we want this